At dawn, the camp of Israel stood silent. Fear hung heavy in the air, thick as the morning mist. Across the valley, shadows stretched long, and no soldier dared to move. For 40 days, the same challenge echoed again and again, unchallenged, unanswered. Then the giant stepped forward. His name was Goliath. Towering in bronze armor, shaped by war, scarred by countless battles, he stood as fear itself. His voice thundered across the valley, mocking the armies of Israel. Every word struck deeper than a blade, and no one stepped forward. Not the soldiers, not the commanders, not even King Saul, chosen to lead. Now frozen by fear, that morning, a shepherd boy arrived at the camp. Not to fight, but to serve. His name was David. Too young for armor, too small for war. The soldiers laughed when they saw him. A boy against a giant. But David heard the challenge, and something burned within his heart. Not anger, faith. Who is this Philistine, he said, that he should defy the armies of the living God? His words spread through the camp like fire. They brought David before the king. Saul looked at him and saw weakness. So he dressed David in armor, heavy, cold, unfamiliar. David tried to walk, but he could barely move. This was not his strength. He removed the armor and said, "I cannot fight in these. I trust what God has already given me." So David walked out with no sword, no shield, only faith.by a quiet stream. David knelt and chose 5 smooth stones, not because he trusted the stones, but because he trusted the Lord who had delivered him before. Then the shepherd returned to the Valley of Fear. The Philistines laughed when they saw him coming. Even Goliath laughed, insulted by the sight of a boy. 2 figures stood face to face. Great fear against simple faith. David lifted his voice and said, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord." The giant roared and charged forward. David reached into his pouch. The sling began to spin. Time slowed. The wind held its breath. And with one release, the stone flew that struck the giant's forehead. The impossible happened. Goliath fell. The ground shook. Fear was broken. Faith rose. The armies of Israel erupted in victory. David stood still, breathing, humbled, not by his strength, but by God's power. Because the battle was never about size or strength. It was always about trust.